Hello there YouTube, it's Conspiracy Boy here with a late night Carboot haul video. I was really chuffed with how we did this week. Yeah, found some really awesome stuff and just had like a really good day. So yeah, it was a good Carboot sale. Sorry if the sound quality's terrible on the videos. I don't know quite what's the matter with it. I've had a fiddle but I can't get it any better than this, so yeah, apologies. I'm not going to run through everything in any particular order, I don't think, but we'll see if we can manage it. So, first stuff of the day was a fella who clearly had a Lootcrate subscription, a Nerd Block subscription, a arcade block, a comic block, and he said there was one that was just food as well. And there was loads of stuff that he just wanted rid of. So I think these were the first ones I spotted. This was like some Street Fighter Kid Robot figure and this cool Bender, and he said he wanted £1 each on those. Then he mentioned the Stick of Truth, and I saw he had the Haiju Elf, so I asked him, you know, how much was that, and his dad turned to him and said because it was in the box it should probably be more. And I saw he had this cool little Homer as like a golden Buddha with the box. So I asked him to put that in my pile. And then he had this cool little jar with the hearts on. And also this Ghostbusters wallet as well. So everything was like £1, except for the Haiju Elf, which seemed like it was going to be more. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had 6 items, and he did the 6 for £4. So yeah, I was really chuffed with that. Later on, I said to him I'd come back, and he was really close to the car where I was parked. So I didn't go back till the end. And at the end, I picked up some more stuff he had. He had this Portal safety first sign, which even though I haven't seen Portal, just looked really cool, and I'll probably stick up at work somewhere. This Walking Dead decal, these lightning bolt attachments to trainers, and this turtle Play-Doh stuff here. He also had all of these comics as well. They all seem to be like Nerd Block or Arcade Block exclusives. So that one in the corner says Comic Block, Danger Girl #1, JLX #1, Red Sonja Comic Block Edition, Red Sonja Conan. There's a Mass Effect comic, Gem and the Holograms comic or Bumper Annual. Some of these are still sealed, like this X-Files IW comic block exclusive, that's all sealed up still. This one, which I don't really know the name of, but again, comic block exclusives. Catch the Drift, Assassins, Converge Action Comics, Mad Max, Mass Effect. Then he had this, which is awesome. I did see this in like a Lootcrate. This was Bicycle Girl Zombie. And it's just an awesome picture of her, and she signed it, and there was a little piece of paper in there as a certificate of authenticity, but I think it might have fallen out in the car. But yeah, that's amazing. He also had this Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers annual that was 50p, and Deadpool versus Thanos, Ghostbusters, one of the new ones but looks like the old stuff, Howard the Duck, Lara Croft. And he was doing all of these at 10p each. Star Wars Lando, 21st Century Tank Girl, which looks amazing. I can't believe they've redone Tank Girl. I'm definitely going to look into that. Groot, DC Comic Bombshells, Pacific Rim, Secret Wars, Vader Down. Some of these say variant edition. Maybe they got like special covers as they come at. Well, it says Fan Expo, but and Adventure Negative Space. So yeah, that little lot, I can't remember how much it cost me. I think it ended up being like £3 or something for all of those comics, and then I think I ended up spending £7 on all of this sort of Loot Crate nerd block stuff. So that was really cool. So yeah, I was off to a good start. And then the next like seller I came to had a Pokemon game. It was like a Japanese version of Pokemon Yellow, but the cartridge was grey and it said Pocket Monsters. It all looked like maybe a little bit counterfeit. And he also had like a Dragon Quest box set, and then a few like tiny little Pokemon things, and a few Mario things. And so I put a little pile together and asked them how much they wanted, and she said, "Oh, it's my son's, he'll be back soon." So I said, "Well, if you put it behind, and then I'll come back to it." So after about 10 minutes I went back and he was there, and I said, "Oh, how much would you like for all that stuff?" And he said, "Oh, £120. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's from Japan, you won't see it in this country." So apparently because it was Japanese, it made it like just crazy money. So I just nodded and said, "Okay, you know, probably not the store for me," and just left. And then I went around the corner to one of the toy traders, who I've seen there a couple of times now. I mean, he's quite a friendly guy, I suppose. He's nice enough. I haven't really had a chance to befriend him and get to know like how he gets his stock and whatnot. But he tends to have a big pile out the front that's like £1-2, and a few at the back that are like £2-3. And today I walked over, and in his £1 pot he had these two. This one, which is a Ghostbusters guy, and this guy, which is an awesome knockoff troll with a just amazing head. So yeah, it was really chuffed with him. And then he said, "Oh, if you're looking to buy some figures, have a look in that box over there. Everything in this box is a bargain." So I like had a rummage through and picked some out and said, "How much are they?" And he said 50p each. So not what I call a bargain, but a fair price nonetheless. So Bucky O'Hare Blinky, had Peter Pan there. This crazy looking skeleton guy that I don't know what he's from right now, but it seems to stick in my head for some reason. Dino Riders, little guy, and these two, which I didn't know what they were, so I tend to pick up stuff. If I'm lost and I'm like, I don't know what that is, then it tends to mean pick it up. It's probably worth seeing. So we got those two, and that ended up costing £5, which I don't know, I think it was worth it just for him alone. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I was quite chuffed with that. Yeah, and then I just forget the order I sort of got stuff next, and maybe this was next. Sorry about that, YouTube. Technical difficulties there. Hold on to your seats. So yeah, found this Far Cry 4 statue. I think it must have come with like a limited edition version of the game or something. It's actually a really cool statue with the details in the background and the Buddha head on the floor and the Kalashnikov. Yeah, it's really cool. And there's like some little girl hiding on the back, like the other side of the statue. 24.5 centimeters high. So the lady wanted £5 for that. I thought that was a fair price. Quite a new game. I thought it would be able to retail quite well, so grabbed that. Oh, and then we've got these. So this was still very early on at the first Carboot. There was people still setting up, and this lady started pulling out these sort of Disney porcelain figures in these little packets, and she had loads of them. Oh my god, I didn't even know they made that many Disney characters till she started pulling them all out. And I think I said, "Oh, how much are your Disney things?" And she said, "Oh, they're all £1 each." And this guy who was hovering around just went, "I'll take them." And the lady went, "Oh, sorry," and he was like, "I'll take them. I'll have all of them. I'll take all of them." And she was like, "Well, I don't know how many there are." And he was getting like proper aggressive and forceful with her, and she just wasn't responding the way he wanted her to. Every time he was aggressive and forceful, she was just like, "Well, I don't know, no." And I said, "Excuse me, I don't suppose you know if there's any Pocahontas figurines there?" And she said, "Oh yes, let me have a look, I'll find them for you." So she dug out the two Pocahontas ones there, And then after she sold them to me for £2, she said, "Oh, and there's also these ones as well." And so I thought, oh well, I'll take all of them. So I ended up buying 4 of those for £4. And the guy was just getting more and more agitated, the fact that people were buying them in front of him when he wanted to buy them. And yeah, but he was just being so nasty about it. I thought, he's probably getting a bit of what he deserved. What else did we get? We've got this little handful here. Been having a little joke recently about Mr. Blobby. So when I saw this little moving Blobby for 10p, I thought I'd pick him up. And in the same box there was this little Nala. And I have like a play set. In fact, I have 2 Pride Rock play sets. And I'm trying to get a few little Lion King figures together so I can have them as a little set. So I picked them up out the 10p box, and the fella was like obviously a trader, dealer guy, still setting up. And I said, "Oh, how much would you like for these?" And he said, "Oh yeah, they're all 10p or 12 for £1." And I said, "Well, I'll just take 2, thanks." And he was like, "Oh, you're a big spender, aren't you?" And I was just like, "Well, it's just yeah." And then he put down a box of like 5p things. So I had a little rummage around, and I picked out these 2 little bits. And I thought, well, rather than bothering him, I'll speak to like the lady who was running the stall as well. And I was like, "Excuse me, can I just pay you for these 2 bits out of the 5p box?" And she was like, "Oh, 2 5p bits? Oh, that's 10p then." And I was like, "Okay, here you go." And she was like, "Oh yeah, spending loads of money now, aren't you?" And I was like, "Well, I did just buy something else." And she was like, "Oh yeah. This is a big sale of the day." And it was just like, bloody hell, love. I'm like, are you here to sell your stuff or not? So anyway, that was fun, having people selling me things from tubs that they'd labelled, but almost getting a bit agitated about it. But yeah, that wasn't too bad. This was at the second Carboot. There was this whole little plastic bag here of these are the ones they give out at the local fish and chip shop, and it was just full of like pieces of like the bottom of a toy drawer, and the only things that looked a little bit worthwhile in it was you could see a handful of these like Halo Mega Blocks things and some of those Galactic Warriors. Turns out there's only 2 of the Galactic heroes in there, but there ended up being about 16 of these little Halo minifigures. She sold me the whole bag for £1. I think all the other bits that like bullets and bits of guns are probably just bin worthy, because it doesn't look like it's from any sort of playset you'd recognise or want. But yeah, so we got that little lot for £1. I'll probably end up putting all the little Halo blocks on the internet, because I'm not really a big fan of Halo. There was a lady who had some Wii games, and I went over and had a look, and she had The Sims 3. So I opened it up and looked inside, and it was like a blank case. And then it basically became a game of, are the games actually anywhere near what they show on the outside? So the first one that actually matched up was Robotech Battle Cry. That all looks complete and in relatively good shape, all except for the case, but we could swap that out. And then inside the Guitar Hero World Tour, she had this Sonic All-Stars Racing, and then in Rabbids Go Home there was that one, as well as Raving Rabbids Time Travel. But there was like 3 or 4 decent looking games that just weren't in the cases. When I asked her about it, she said, "Oh yeah, there were some that all the discs were in one case," and I think I sold that one. And so she was just selling all the empty cases off for £1 still. But while I was rummaging, we found this nice copy of Pokemon Silver at the bottom of the box. So I asked her how much they were. I thought she said they were 50p. So when I took this like handful to her and explained there was the wrong cases but different discs and all sorts, and I couldn't make them match, she ended up saying, "Oh well, just call it £3 then." And I thought, well, if they're 50p each, then I'm only on like £2. But she said no, they were £1 each, so she was, letting me have a free disc, and all the games were £1. So yeah, I was happy with that £3, even just for Pokemon Silver. The only downside was there's a little bit light rain out today, so the bottom of this bag was a bit wet, and the little Pokemon Silver was a little bit damp as well. So hopefully that all doesn't affect it too much. Met some really cool people that had some Power Ranger stuff. It was like the more modern stuff, but sort of my nephew, so to speak, is collecting the Dino Thunder ones at the minute, so I was trying to see if there was a Megazord for that there. There wasn't, but I did find this tiny little miniature Beetle Borg, a head of something from a Mighty Max playset, and this weird looking modern day Transformer, I think, that they only wanted 50p for. There was this huge box just full of random junk, like really cheap kids' toys, and when I was rummaging through and asked the person how much they wanted, they said just take a handful for 10p. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I got all these Toy Story ones. There's a decent sized alien there, and that evil bear chap, and then a smaller little potato head man, Woody doing some sort of jig, and another Woody there as well. And there was another purple bear dude, I can't remember where he's got to, but yeah, there was another one of those, and that was all 10p. I didn't have a 10p piece, so I gave him 20p, and he gave me like an American coin back, and I didn't realise till later, so really ended up costing me 20p. So yeah, there was that little lot. I had these two over here. These were 50p each, or yeah, 50p each. Toad and a clone trooper. I think I said it was a stormtrooper to the boy, and he very quickly corrected me, so he knew his stuff. So this stuff is from some really cool Polish people that are the same Carboot sale every week. They always have this big mat of toys that they sell at like 20p each, and it changes every week. This week they had this two-headed purpley dragon. He's in pretty bad shape. Both of his hands have been chewed off, and yeah, he's definitely seen better days, but yeah, he was pretty cool for 20p. They also had this guy, which I think is one of the like henchmen from the Super Mario Brothers live action film, and also this, is it Gus Gill or something from Skylanders for 20p. And because I always think they sell everything too cheap, I bought Destroy All Humans for £1 from them. So that was £1.60 for that little bundle there. Another one, the traders had this. I was looking in this random box, and I picked up this weapon that looks like it goes with some form of Mannix toy. There was no Mannix in there. There was this Mummies Alive figure, and this like Dragon Ball Z bendy dude, as well as this Mighty Max villain, and this really ridiculous cheap metal fake chain, which I thought was funny. And I asked him how much all that was, and he said all those items were like 50p each, even including this. This is 50p, and so's this. So he wanted like £1, £2. He wanted like £2.50 for that. And then I asked him how much this was, and he said if I wanted that, he'd do me the lot for £4.50. I managed to talk him down to £3.50 for the lot, including this. This one's all sealed, and we've had a look online. It seems to go for like, well, God knows, but hopefully that'll do okay. Boss Monster. So we got that listed already. This was a bit funny. This was at the local Carboot. Guy said he had boxes of these, and he did have loads. It says insert coin on it, which are quite a cool clothing make. They're all branded Wii U, and they've got like white sleeves. It does say insert coin on the logo there, and he had medium, large and extra large, and they were £1 each, so I grabbed one white blue Wii polo shirt thing. This was at the first Carboot. Oh no, sorry, this one was the second one. Couldn't see any other toys, but they just happened to have these, forget what they're called now, sectors? Insectoids or something like that. I've seen one of these before, but it was really tatty and someone wanted £8 for it. So when I saw this one in really nice shape for £1, snapped him up. We've got these annuals and this Mask magazine for £1. The people that were selling that were really, really nice, said that it was their son's stuff that I was picking up, but they also had like their dad's stuff there. On all their son's annuals, like the Transformers and Masters of the Universe, they were selling 4 for £1, and all his dad's stuff which I can't even remember the name of, but was all Jerry Anderson. He was telling me he was selling for like £5 to £10 a piece. So I picked up the Masters of the Universe annual there. This one, which has just such an amazing cover. I love the cover art. It's all just the figurines and Castle Grayskull. That's like the best cover of any annual I've ever seen. And these two Transformer ones as well. I'm sure I end up picking this one up almost every week, it seems now. But anyway, yeah, so that was £5 for £1. I asked them if they had any toys, and they said, oh, we do, but we don't have them here, and yeah, they don't know when they'll next be back, so I'm not very hopeful of actually getting to those. Next little lot I bought, or second to last really, was this big bundle of playmobil. They're all like princesses and female warriors, and it comes in this big like carry case playset thing. Because of the size of it, I'm going to try and sell it on a local site. Yeah, so that might make it easier. And then there's this lot, which my girlfriend found at the second car boot, and she was looking through, and being as clued up as she is now about the world of toys, she spotted these army ants, because only a few days before we'd been looking at army ants and terminites. She saw some of these in a bundle with some of these little Z-bots, and she couldn't find me or see me at the car boot sale, and the bloke wanted 20p each, and there's loads of different bits here. And she had a good old rummage through, and eventually said, you know what, just take the whole lot for £1, and there's just so many. I'm just going to take the camera off and scroll it in front of them because there's so many. It's probably the best deal at the boot sale for us today. So there's the army ants down the bottom there. There's this strange two-headed fella that I'd really like to know what he is in a Z-bot. There's a crazy little guy in the middle. He looks like a dwarf. I'd like to know what he was. There's these cool finger puppet fellas. Used to have ones like that as a kid. And then there's some of the more common, like jelly faced ones. And then there's these little figurines that I'm sure you used to get in like Dick Turtle lucky bags. He was the one that, like, the turtle with the pirate eye patch that rode around on the space rocket, in case you ever got those cool lucky bags. There's a couple of Simpsons South Park figures there, and behind it there's the little snot character, the sidekick from Earthworm Jim, like original one, so that was amazing. Like a little Polly Pocket Mighty Max sized Venus flytrap, a little Mighty Max bad guy, those two crazy little dinosaur robots, and these two Sun Gold sort of knockoff Toxic Crusader type things. Thanks for Carboot collectors on the info on those. This little face thing that I think might be a Ghostbusters. I think it might have came with one of the Goo sets. And then there's all the Z-bots at the back there, and one of those little pullback creepy crawly creatures. So yeah, I was really chuffed with all those sort of like bootleg and little minifigure things, and army ants and terminites. Yeah, they're the ones I like, tiny little rubber ones and vintage action figures. So yeah, for me, it was a really good day. I really enjoyed myself. Everyone was really friendly. We ended up getting some vintage Pokemon Game Boy stuff and some cool South Park stuff and some bootleg Trolls and awesome Walking Dead stuff. So yeah, I was really pleased. Like a couple of things I've actually seen and wanted, like that little Homer Simpson Buddha thing and the Walking Dead little girl's face. They're things I've actually wanted. So yeah, it was awesome to find them at a car boot sale, going pretty cheap. Yeah, so had a really good day. Had a few good sellers, a few bad sellers. Did just miss out on picking up a couple of Wii games. Someone bought Mario Party 9 and I think it was Mario Paper or something on the Wii for £5 for the both of them. So missed out on a good deal there. But someone also had that knockoff Nintendo 64 that I got a little while back. It's like an 8-bit console as opposed to like a 64. But yeah, they tarted it up to try and make it look like a 64. But they want a tenner for it. So I imagine it'll be there next week. If anyone thinks they're worth picking up, let me know. Even though they don't play Nintendo 64 games. I hear the rumour is they play Super Famicom SNES games. So yeah, if anyone thinks it's worth picking it up for that reason alone, let me know in the comments below, and I might try and pick it up next week for a tenner. I tried offering him a £5 this week and he said no, but I think it'll be there next week. We'll give it a go. Yeah, quite a successful day's Carboot, I think. Sorry that I haven't re-uploaded my eBay finds and trades and charity shop finds and stuff like that. I will get round to that at some point. I've added to it since then as well, so it'll be an updated version. Anyway, really good to see Jarl Grim getting some awesome hauls, and Paulie Poo still hunting through charity shops. It's just really nice seeing that everyone's starting to become more active with car boot haul videos now the summer's coming and car boots are more frequent. So yeah, it's just really cool seeing what you guys find out there as well. So yeah, keep it up guys, loving your work. So yeah, bye.